Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is T, and this is Who's Tea TV. And tonight we're going to figure out whose tea is it really? Is it mine's? Is it yours? Is it theirs? Or is it ours as a collective? Tonight, the flavor is curiosity. Yes, I chose curiosity because we as a people can be triggered by the smallest minute thing that piques our curiosity like way up there, and we try to figure out what went wrong or what was this or what was that, and eventually we have to get an answer. So I don't know if that's a new novelty or what, but it is what it is. Now let's get into it. So, as a child, we were planting seeds and we didn't know it. If you take a regular seed out of a pack, that seed can go at least 20 feet deep with roots. Now, when you think about roots, what do you think of? Your ancestors. So, let's get into this. So, if you think about your ancestors, you think of different habits and traits that they may have had. Do you look like them? Do you think like them? Do you smile like them? Do you walk like them? Do you have different hereditary traits like them, such as diabetes, arthritis, autoimmune disorders, mental illness, which is a major one in today's society? Those things come by generation. Those things can come generation to generation. It just depends. But how do you get the answer to your questions that you're curious about? Well, A, you can order an Ancestry DNA kit, as I did. B, once you get the Ancestry DNA kit, you may decipher whether or not you want to go through with it or not. So, with anything that you purchase, there are pros and cons. So, a pro is you'll find the answers to different diseases that may be affecting your family currently. It can be cancer, it can be the autoimmune disease, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, just to name a few. We can even add, along with mental health, alcoholism, drug addiction. Those things don't just show up, contrary to what people do believe. Another pro could be that the sample of the DNA that you're giving, you are not getting a needle to the arm, which is a plus. You are doing a saliva test, so that may include a little sample of saliva in a tube, and you're going to send it back for it to be tested. Now, another pro is that you can find out things that maybe you didn't know before from, a census, because they do offer census material. Now, with each level, you do have to pay a little bit more, but you don't have to go above and beyond. Say you just want to know your background, what your ethnicity is, which is one of the things I wanted to know because I wasn't sure. I've heard stories of certain family members being the milkman's baby, so anything could be possible. Um, the DNA is a amazing thing. So anything is possible. And it goes back to the seed. You know how deep the roots go, at least 20 feet deep. So just imagine how deep that DNA goes that runs through your body. So I think about the cons, and I'm thinking, well, there are cons. And the first thing that come to mind is privacy. Well, when we think of privacy, is there really such a thing as privacy? When you are born in a hospital, a lot of people don't realize that allegedly they keep records for 25 years from the date of your birth, right in the same hospital where you were born. You could possibly pick up a phone and give them a call and say, can you help me figure out what time of day or night I was born? And they would have that information readily available, providing you sign a waiver, of course. But it would be possible for you to find out that information. And then when you think of privacy, as far as the things that I'm saying, like the CDC and all those great people, vital records, they keep track of these things. They keep track of your birth record. They keep track of your death record. They keep track of your marriage license. They keep track of divorce decrees. If you've been overseas or have had a loved one overseas that possibly died while over there, they have all that information stored in these vital records. And at one time, I'm sure everything was paper, but now in the age that we live in, things are now digital. So your information's out there. Plus, you can go online on Google or in other avenues and purchase like a $30 package, and you can get not only, if you know the person's name, that's one thing, but you can find out their address, their phone number, their nearest relatives. All these things are public information, and it's out there for anyone and everyone. So that was a con, the privacy. But however, we know these different avenues of getting information are out there. So is there really, again, such a thing as privacy? I think not. My own personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but it is what it is. Now, when I also think of this DNA thing, I I really get kind of perplexed about the idea of how we were back in the day. And I say we were because I don't know if you're like me. You know, you used to have to go outside. As a kid, you couldn't sit in a house and be in grown folks' business, so to speak. And, you know, you were told to go outside until the street light came on. Street light came on, you were back in the house. You were getting showered and ready for bed at that point. Or going in and eating dinner prior and then going back outside, and you were not just hanging around the house being on the television. Or matter of fact, you didn't have a television in your bedroom. There were no cell phones. You had a landline. And I think of all those things of how they correlate with our upbringing, and it all goes back to DNA. And to be honest, you know, you want these answers, and hopefully you'll find them. I mean, I'm not sure if you will or not, and I don't want to seem like I'm giving false promises, but there's a lot to learn from DNA, and I highly suggest you take advantage of it. But anyhow, I made this big leap, and I purchased my Ancestry DNA test, and I took and looked through all the pros and cons, and, you know, I got the results. Now, I got these results, but what's my next step? I'm not sure, but stay tuned for part 2 so we can find out.